when the heart begins to feel again. As we journey deeper into this awakening, we find ourselves encounters with the emotional triggers that caused by outside situations, events, or people around us. And those triggers that may seem caused by the people or circumstances around us are really just a reflection of what is already within ourselves. Because in my own sacred journey, I realized those triggers or events are just a reflection of unhealed wounds, suppressed emotions, and misperception I still held within myself. And as I become aware that those triggers are just a reflection of what within myself, that led me to realize to commit more into healing myself. Healing myself not through victimhood, but from taking responsibility to what I feel. And as I learn to take responsibility for the emotions I feel within myself, it gives me the understanding that emotions are just an expression of misunderstanding. And the one that heals it is by feeling it. So feeling is the one that brings understanding. And it's true that at first it is not easy to feel those emotions. And sometimes it's easier to numb it or suppress it than facing it. But that comes with a consequence. Because as we suppress our emotion, the more it persists. But how great our body help us to deal with emotion, because our body knows when we are ready to deal with it. So in this journey of healing the emotions, you don't need to force healing your emotions. It will arise the time that you are ready to face it. But as we resist it, you will find yourself again in the same situation. The same emotion arise. As we run away from it, it comes back. So the only way to heal it is to get through it. And as a parent, I realized that the most challenging thing to provide for a child is not really the financial stability, but the emotional stability. Because for us to give it to our child, we must first give it to ourselves. And that's why it's challenging. It's because you have to be both parent to yourself and to your child. So that's why before you decide to have a child, ask yourself first, are you really ready emotionally? Not just financially. In my experience as a parent and also as a child, it's not really easy to grow up in an environment that doesn't value emotions. Because as I grow in an emotionally suppressed environment, it is challenging how to deal with it. Because those around you doesn't also know how to deal with it. So it's challenging. And me as a parent, as I learn to heal the emotions within myself, that is also how I learn how to parent my child. As we observe every child we encounter, or our own child, if we observe honestly, when we as parents is not emotionally honest to our children, we often find them having tantrums or very hyper. Not because something wrong with them, but as a child, they're feeling what the parents are not ready to deal with. As a child that also experienced it, it's not easy to feel what your parent feels when they are not dealing with the emotions they are feeling. So, as a parent, as a parent that runs away from it, I also observe how my son reacts when I am emotionally unstable. So, as a parent, in reality, I also realized that you don't have to be a perfect parent. You just have to be honest. You just have to be honest to your child that whatever you're going through, even you're sad, angry, frustrated, going on a heavy situation, when you are honest to your child, you will not let them absorb your emotions. They only absorb the emotions that you're not dealing with. And as we understand the children is very sensitive to emotions, it gives us the responsibility to have emotional stability to ourselves. Because in my experience, It's really hard when your child is crying and you don't know what to do. That's the most triggering part for me as a parent, because you want to give your child peace, but you don't know how to give it because you yourself are not at peace with yourself. So that's led me to realize that my child was not meant only to be guided by me. He also meant to teach me how to deal with my emotion, how to not hide it, and to become honest with it. And as I become honest of my own emotions and deals with it, that brings me the gift of understanding my child, understanding him when he's crying, when he is angry. I'm not there to suppress what he's feeling. I'm not there to stop him when he's crying. I am there to be someone as a presence or as a loving embrace when he cries. Not the one that prevents him from feeling it, but the ones that allowing him to feel it with innocence, without judgment. And that lead to realization that dealing with your emotions or being honest with them not only help you, but also help your child and those around you. Because when you have that understanding, instead of reacting negatively onto it, you will learn to have compassion to others, to your child, and also, importantly, to yourself. And we can only offer peace because we have first have peace within ourselves. And true commitment and healing is when the shouting begins within, when the overwhelming emotions arise. Will you able to sit with it? Will you able to embrace it? Because healing begins when we start to feel those emotions. And those emotions are doorway to the joyous, creative part of ourselves. If we just allow to feel it. If we just allow ourselves to open our heart to feel those emotions that are just waiting to be understood. And as a being, or as a parent to yourself, you don't need to be hard on yourself. You don't need to push away those emotions. Sometimes they just need your loving embrace. And sometimes the understanding and embrace that we're waiting for is not really from others. It's not really to someone outside ourselves. Sometimes it is our own embrace that we are waiting. And as we understand emotion, it left us with a choice whether to run away from it or embrace it. As we run away from it, it will just keep coming back, and sometimes more heavier. And as we embrace it fully and allow it to feel within our body, that led us to the peace we are looking for.